Oh, well, that's a bit dead for lighting. What's going on, bro? Yeah, whip this bad boy out. Am I gonna break the snake? No, I'm not. Okay. Oh, nice. He's got lighter now. What the fuck is going on here then? Zoe, mate. I'm gonna have to move your shit out of the way. Interrupting with me zen. Oh, it's such an effort doing this shit, I tell you. You guys best appreciate what I do. Whoa. Bow. Oh, saucy. Testing, testing. Oh, selector. Put him on again, ready on a jump. 1, 2, 1, but a 1, 2 stop. Hot. It's Charlie's love. Yeah, anyway. What was I going to do this on? That's it. Staying on track on holiday. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not usually a fan of these bang energy drinks. Some of the more adventurous flavours have a little bit of a twang to them. I mean, like a artificial sweetener aftertaste. But this one, the Bankster Berry Pop. Yeah, so that's a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It tastes like, you know, when you were a kid, you'd have I don't know, well, maybe you didn't do this as a kid, but I did. Mum used to make like blackcurrant squash lemonade. Boom, cheap Vimto. Unreal in the summer. Shit tons of ice. It tastes like that, but it's got super creatine. I don't know if it's any different than normal creatine. Maybe it is. But yeah, bangs, absolutely bangs. It's fucking cold here. What's happening, guys? So today I'm going to be taking a little dive into how to not fuck it on holiday. Let's put it bluntly. Guys, so today I'm going to be talking everything holiday. Well, how to, you know, that sounds really fucking stupid, doesn't it? Everything holiday, what? How to pack your suitcase, what swimming trunks to wear, what fucking... Yeah, nah, let's scrap that. Let's go again. What is good? Why is that not focusing? There we go. What's good, people? So this week's YouTube is all about holiday and how to kind of stay on track and stay on top of your goals whilst away. It's a pretty quick and easy video to go through, really. Now obviously me and Zoe just went away, just got back from Lanzarote. Lanzarote. It was actually really nice. It was actually lovely. It was, yeah, nice to be in some like 27-degree heat. I didn't really get much of a tan. Little bit of one. But yeah, I spent most of my time doing check-ins, chilling by the pool, working, you know, basic stuff. But yeah, nice little week away with Zoe. It was funny. I had all these plans for content and stuff. You know, I was going to try and do, you know, a video like this for the YouTube channel, going through, you know, being away on holiday and minimising, you know, regression or at least staying on track and keeping progress rolling. You know, I had all these plans, and when I got out there, it was a case of, as soon as I ticked off my client work, you know, keeping the guys up to date, doing check-ins, making sure everyone was still on board and on track, you know, I just kind of, yeah, I just found myself just wanting to chill and actually enjoy that time away. I think after the off-season, really pushing, driving really hard, you know, really, it was nice to really finally rid some stress. I feel absolutely 12 out of 10 now I've come back from that. So, you know, I put quite a bit of pressure on myself to, you know, got to be doing this, got to be, you know, work, got to make content, you know, coaching, all that, you know. It was just very nice to once I had done my check-ins and the time that I'd set myself, it was nice to literally go and sit by a pool. It was nice to sit by a pool, soak up some vitamin D and go for a swim. It really was. Yeah, you know, it's I think if I was going for any longer than a week, then and if it was during a different phase, so like say if you know, fat loss phase, or, you know, not ideal. I probably wouldn't go away in a fat loss phase just because I need to control every variable. But, you know, I think if I was going for longer than a week, then of course, you know, you've got a bit more time to play with, settle into that routine, and you know, you can allocate some work time. But with a week and spending sort of 2-3 hours, 4 hours every morning doing work, it was just nice from like lunchtime onwards just to sit with Zoe, chill, spend some time together. You know, me coaching full, you know, it is a 24/7 job. There's not like you start work at 9, finish at 5. There is, you know, you start work at 7 in the morning. Once you've woken up and had your first meal, you're into work mode, and that'll probably go until sort of an hour before bed. You know, you're always talking to clients, you're always responding to clients, doing updates on a laptop, filming for YouTube, doing, you know, content and stuff. So it's not a, you know, I love my job, I love what I do, I wouldn't do it otherwise. But it's not a case of, you know, you have that time. And Zoe's even more bloody busy than me, running a dance school. She got, you know, employees to think about, work to think about, shows to think about, classes. So I think for us, it was just nice to really have that time. And for me to have even thought, you know, thought I was going to be working a lot while I was away was a bit silly. But the essential stuff got done. All my clients were tended to. We had one new sign up started and done as well. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It was nice. It really was. I can't explain how needed that week was. Yeah, it was a case of the minute I walked through the door last night, I sat down. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to nail this now. I think from a physical, not just a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint as well. You know, even having like deloads and stuff, like that week of just, you know, training, but it was, you know, making the best out of the situation and spending most of my time on my back, relaxing, sleeping, in the, you know, from like 12 through the afternoon, just napping in and out and chilling and eating some food. It was, yeah, it really was, it was needed. Basic stuff. But yeah, how to go away and maintain progress. So for me, I started my maintenance phase a couple of weeks prior to this, and the holiday was actually my last week of maintenance. And during that time, you know, it's not a window of necessarily progression. You know, you're not growing, you're not pulling off body fat, you are just literally, as you know, using the tip there, maintaining. So the goal was really just to rid some fluid, get rid of some stress, and just reset, recharge, and get ready for the next phase. So a week away was probably kind of perfect, so long as you don't go away and then, you know, start hounding back the fucking Sambuca shots and, you know, adding more and more stress. But that's fine for me because it's not, you know, I may drink once a year, you know, maybe. Not really, you know, not gonna lie. I always used to be more of a smoker than a drinker back in the day. So yeah, for me, I'd rather chill, have a couple edibles than knock back, you know, a load of shots on a weekend or cocktails. So yeah, going away abroad for me is pretty easy, to be honest. Or at least I found out it was pretty easy this time. I did have my concerns. I thought, you know, it'd be hard kind of keeping on top of food and everything. But, you know, macro tracking meals out there was quite easy. So yeah, the optimal situation. Now, when you go away, if you have a goal at hand, so Zoe, for example, she is on the early stages of her prep, ready for the early shows of 2022. That's the plan anyway. Things always change and can change as things progress, depending on what shows come up, when, where, what one she wants to do, federations, etc., etc. But she's on prep, so she is in a calorie deficit. She is dieting down, and thus she must be at least 100% minimum. You know, we don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, it was a case of macro tracking the foods we had available. You know, we still managed to go out and have meals. But it was sensible choices, things that we could track, things that we could, you know, measure, take a little scales with us. She would have, you know, like steak, vegetables, maybe some, you know, canary potatoes or chips or something, stuff that we can literally weigh, measure, and have a good enough indication of the calories she's then eating in that meal out. But the rest of the day, or if we ate at home or ate at the place where we're staying, was macro tracked. You know, we did a food shop, went to the supermarket, done a food shop. It was quite exciting, you know, lots of different foods. It was a pain in the arse, in all honesty. For someone like me, I was eating like just over 3,500 calories in between 3 and 4 at maintenance, and it was actually really hard to get good normal protein sources like meats, chickens. It was all like dry cured meats. Obviously got loads of fat in them, loads of like shit tons of nitrate and stuff. And so it was hard actually just to find like some chicken or some steak or actually fish. I was actually really looking forward to being in a hot country and eating some fish, but it was really hard to get it. And vegetables as well. Obviously I'm guessing out there it was more like, you know, whatever's in season you kind of have to go with. So we had mushrooms to play with and a thing that looked like a courgette. I'm pretty sure was a courgette, but it was really sweet. So it might not have been a courgette. It was like a courgette, but a pale green colour. It did taste really good. So yeah, it was hard to kind of, you know, first few days settling into everything. I think the first day, I think I was slightly under on protein, definitely over on fats and under on carbs, which, you know, in the grand scheme for me, as long as my calories are pretty much the same, that 10% variation across the macros wasn't too difficult for me. But obviously Zoe eating a lot less food, being a lot smaller individual, we didn't really have much of a problem for her to stay on point with her macros and calories. It was a lot easier. So yeah, the easiest and simplest answer for how to stay on plan when you go away is to make progress is quite simply to stay on plan when you are away. And that is not ideal or enjoyable for most people. Like I said, for me, it don't really bother me. I'm a creature of habit. I like my routine, and you know, I just spent so long in an off season growing, and I made a fucking load of progress for me on my behalf anyway, not comparing to anyone else. And I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to jeopardize any of that progress. So for me, it was really easy to just go, yeah, no, I want to be like boom, 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 at least tick the boxes. But what do you do when you don't want to necessarily be so restricted, and you don't necessarily want to track? You know, you want to take this time to go away for the week, and kind of let your hair down a bit, relax. Now, the way to approach nutrition in this instance is to do something called a protein modified sparing fast. Now, all this means is you are literally saving carbohydrates for the end of the day, and you're literally just living off of basic protein sources. So you're going to have like your meats, eggs, things like this. Like breakfast might be scrambled eggs, but you know, some veggies, mushrooms, onions, or whatever whatever you've got to play with. But the idea is that you're going to be having, you know, 1 or 2 meals of protein sources throughout the day, protein and vegetables, and then in the evening you're then going to have your meal out. Should we say you're going to have that big meal? You have your carbohydrates and whatever else. And this is a good way to minimize the damage done during this phase. I know my friend Alex, guy who's on the podcast with me, the Bodybuilding Prospect, Big Al, he did a very, very similar approach to this, a protein sparing modifying fast, when he went away not that long ago, and it included him doing some fasted steps in the morning. Obviously, being an enhanced athlete, you know, fasted cardio or fasted steps will actually work in favour of him during his fat loss phase because of the lipolytic compounds that he was using, growth hormone, hormone, etc., things like this. Followed by protein and veggies throughout the day, and then he saved his carbohydrates and the main bulk of his food for that evening meal, so that him and his missus, who is not a bodybuilder, could enjoy a meal out and it not hinder his progress. Now, that is the basic scenario of how, if you don't want to track, which is completely fine if you go away on holiday, you know, it's a time to take away some stress or take away them things from life that you feel are a bit of a hindrance, and just be normal in inverted commas for the day. But that is the best way to do it. Obviously, there is always the approach that you can go away on holiday, guys, and you can just say, do you know what, it's a week of my life, I'm going to go and enjoy it. For lifestyle clients, I won't tell them to do anything unless they are saying to me that they don't want to ruin progress, in which case I will give them the 2 options to say, well, you can either macro track and be 90 to 100% on top of your macros and limit damage there, or you can try the protein sparing modifying fast. But for most of my lifestyle clients, I just tell them to go and enjoy it. It's a week. How much muscle will you lose and how much fat will you gain in a week? It's 1 week. Realistically, a majority of the weight gain or weight loss will 9 times out of 10 be a hell of a lot of fluid change and the change and imbalance of fluid distribution, electrolyte shift and change, as well as the digestive shift when you start incorporating different food sources, different fiber sources from obviously a different continent, a different variety of foods that you'll then be eating. So if it's a week or so, it's not really going to do massive amounts of damage. I do just recommend to people that, heavily drinking when you go away, obviously, again, it's entirely your choice, but that is going to add an enormous amount of stress to the body, and when you come back you will probably still be recovering from a week of drinking for a week or two, or maybe longer afterwards, depending on how much you've hammered the shots and such. But yeah, that's a basic look at how to approach going away, guys. You don't, like I said, you don't have to be optimal, you don't have to macro track. There is a way to take the tracking aspect and that control aspect out of your nutrition and just do that protein sparing modifying fast. Or if you're not too concerned with a week away, just say fuck it and enjoy yourself. That's the basics around it. Now when it comes to training, however, training is a little bit different. Again, if it incorporates into your plan quite nicely to have a deload, or you cannot train because there isn't the facilities there, you may be staying somewhere where they have a shit gym with no equipment, maybe like a treadmill or something, then the best thing to do in that scenario is just to keep expenditure high. Keep expenditure high. Lots of walks, lots of time outside on your feet, doing steps. And yeah, that's the basic approach to it. However, if you are on plan and you are in a fat loss phase or a growth phase, then I highly recommend finding somewhere with a gym, or either where you're staying or local to where you are staying, have somewhere with good training facilities or enough to cover the basics, so you can get minimum stimulus required to not lose progress during that time period. And yeah, so looking at the anabolics independent enhancement side of going away, now obviously first and foremost check the legislation for wherever you are going. Now every country has different drug laws. I'm pretty sure when I looked for like Spain, Canary Islands, where I went, Lanzarote is a Spanish island, their steroid laws are, or the anabolics and androgenic steroid laws are very similar to the UK, being that it's a Class C banned substance, which means I was okay to have it for personal use, but the intent to supply is where the problem arises. So for me, I just packed all of my suitcase like normal, whatever I needed for the week. Me and Zoe, we just packed our stuff for the week, took it over there, and obviously went through customs like normal. Obviously our bag didn't get stopped and searched, and in all honesty, the way I kind of thought of it was, if they've got sniffer dogs going through baggage claims, or going through wherever the luggage goes, realistically they're probably going to be looking for things a little bit more than a bottle of Test and a few bottles of GH and some VAR. But do just check your legislation for wherever you are going, so that you don't get in trouble. You could, there could always be the possibility of maybe a fine or worse, depending on where you're going. But yeah, if you are someone that uses enhancements, there is always the option that you can front load your anabolics for the week, obviously using longer esters and stuff. I microdose, so I had to take things with me. But if you're using Test and Anthate, then you could obviously just load it before you go, and then when you come back, continue as normal. Things like GH, Anavar, anything you need to be taking daily, then sadly you are going to have to take it with you. So choose somewhere where that you're not going to run into any troubles with taking that stuff with you. That's the best bit of advice really around that situation. But yeah, that is just my way of navigating holiday. And yeah, just the most important thing, make sure that whatever you are doing, you enjoy. Like I said, for me, I enjoy my lifestyle, I enjoy what I do. So for me, that was how I enjoyed my holiday, you know, still being on track. But if you're not that kind of person, you like to take the load off, don't feel pressured or stressed by anyone else doing something different, that you have to be like that. If you like to take the week just to chill by a pool, drink your beer, relax, then you do you. Yeah. Peace.